Why war and not peace? Why violence and not compassion? Why aggression and not love? I think these are the questions arising in so many hearts and minds across the globe. Why we are fighting? One nation is trying to attack another nation, trying to exploit. And this is happening all over the earth, in many parts of the earth. And it has been happening for thousands of years. What have we learned? When we will stop these wars and see the great importance of peace, of love, of compassion? Does it require tremendous intelligence to see that war is dangerous for all? Nobody wins in any war. Everybody loses. There is only harm. There is only loss for the whole humanity. So much resources are wasted. So much money of taxpayers. And for any war, we are all responsible in small and indirect ways. Everyone contributes in the war if there is no peace inside. Because the war begins first of all in our hearts, in our minds, and then it gets manifested outside. So we have to ask this question: why there is no peace in our hearts, in our minds? What is the cause of this war inside, which is reflected outside? And how can we find this peace, deep peace, which cannot be destroyed by any circumstances? The beginning of war is this self-centeredness. Whenever there is a seed of self-centeredness, seed of greed, seed of ignorance, there is a war. When I don't understand myself, there is a separation. When I identify myself with the false layers projected by the ego mind, there is separation. And whenever there is a separation, there is conflict, as J. Krishnamurti used to say. And when there is conflict, there is suffering, there is war. So can we see the danger of this self-centeredness, the danger of this deep ignorance? When we are not aware, we get identified with false ideas, with false ideologies, false identities, false images, false stories, all stories which are already dead, past. And we identify ourselves with those stories. And we seek security in those stories. And when we are living at the level of stories, we become those stories. We become those images, those thoughts which originate from these past memories. And then we are living like those images, those stories. And those stories are always in need for security because they themselves are dead, insecure. So how can we find any security in these false identities, false stories projected by the mind? So can we see the illusion, the great danger of living with any false identity? Why do we identify ourselves with something which is dead? If we really want to identify, why don't we identify with the whole universe, with the whole life, with every life form on this earth? Why don't we identify with this living moment, with this beautiful sacred earth? Why don't we see the other man is not separate from me? Why don't I realize that there is a deep essence waiting to manifest in each one of us? And that essence is beyond all stories, beyond all images, beyond all thoughts and past memories. And that essence is everywhere, is life itself. In that essence, there is no separation, there is no division, there is oneness, there is love, there is beauty, there is sacredness. So why don't I let that essence to be lived, to be shared? Then I am fulfilling this great responsibility of being human. It's a sacred responsibility to live this essence, to be truly human, not a label, not a memory, not a dead thing. So we are beginning this series of talks and dialogue meetings to understand the deepest cause of war inside us, inside each one of us, and see if we can end it in this moment. So you are all welcome to participate in these meetings for peace, for deep love, for compassion, for harmony. And let us ask together, why war and not peace? Why aggression and not love? Why violence and not compassion?